Section 89 of our Constitution, that is the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, guarantees to every person in Nigeria, including Akwa Ibomite, the entitlement to freedom of expression with a view to holding opinions and receiving and impacting ideas and information without any interference. Upon this constitutional guarantee, Nigerians have utilized several media to express themselves, hold opinions, and receive and impact ideas. These constitutional guarantees has also enabled Nigerians to own, establish, and operate media for the dissemination of information, idea, and opinion. The constitutional guarantee has been particularly useful in the implementation of the obligation of the mass media contained in Section 22 of our Constitution, which provides that the press, radio, television, and other agencies of mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter and uphold the responsibilities and accountability of the government of the day. Simply put, by our Constitution, the media is the fourth arm of government. No, we used to say we have three-tier system or three arm of government. You have the first tier, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. The media is the fourth arm. And our duty is literally mentioned in Section 22 of the Constitution, that you are to ensure that what has been listed out in Chapter 4 of our Constitution is upheld, and you hold government accountable. And then you ensure that the government is responsible and transparent in their programs and activities in the state. The obligation of mass media in Section 22 of our Constitution is the cornerstone of press freedom in Nigeria, of which Akwa Ibom State is a unit. Since the outset of the current republic on 29th May 1999, freedom of expression and the press in Akwa Ibom State has been an upward trajectory with the advent of social media and the establishment of several newspapers in the state. When the Governor was said that we have over 100 media or papers in the state, on the platform we were just discussing, and then finally he chipped in and said that only few are being on the newsstand. Something came to my mind. I remember in one of those years, in the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly press corps, a journalist, a publisher was delisted for not publishing for a long time, and then the press secretary had to screen and remove that particular paper from the list of the press corps. When he came for stipend, his name was not on the list. I was there, he was talking with the press secretary, and he said, why is not on the list? And the press secretary told him that we have observed that for some time it's not been on the newsstand. That is why the speaker said we should remove your paper and others. He said, is that so? The press secretary said, yes. He left, went home. The next morning he came out with a banner story that the speaker was involved in court activities. And instantly, his phone were off. He took the papers, about 5 copies of them stood at the newsstand, one at IDB Junction, one at Plaza. He immediately sold them, about 5 copies, and then disappeared. The president called me and others. We called all the state looking for him. He was not there. And then finally, when I finally reached out to him, he said that they said his papers has not been out. Is it out now? I don't see the paper. Is it on the street? It's very funny. But this is what we see in the state. The purpose, however, between 2008 and 29th May 2023, the freedom of expression and the was flattered. Now, you could remember, a lot of us who have been around, that sometime from 2008 to 2003 or 23, we had issues of press freedom in the state. Journalists were being hoarded, arrested, some of them were being intimidated, taken in by security agencies, and all of them. Now, some of them were even operating from a very hidden condition. I remember at a particular point, I was even invited to the state police headquarters, and the letter of invite said I will be having a discussion with the police over the 2011 election. I can recall the brushes and between state authorities and some publishers and reporters, which caused some publishers and reporters who escaped arrest to operate from underground. Many journalists and others and other individuals were hoarded, arrested, detained, taken to court with or without jurisdiction, and remanded in prison without trial. Since I am limited to speak for 20 minutes, I do not want to mention names of the victims. I am one of those victims in the dark days of that experience when we had our press freedom being flattered. Again, I recall that it got to two wars that in 2012, the executive pressed on the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly to amend the criminal procedure law just to insert a section empowering a magistrate without jurisdiction over a charge and to order the remand of a suspect. That was the notorious section 315 of the criminal procedure law, which now finds notorious space in section 292 of the Akwa Ibom State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2022. It is common knowledge that the notorious section 315 of the criminal procedure law was targeted at an individual whose expression and opinions the state authorities of that time found intolerable despite the constitutional guaranteed right to freedom of expression and the press. So the state government had to ensure that they amend the law to ensure that the magistrate can remand you for 14 days and another reminder and the rest of the day. You just became behind bars, started trial. Even when the court that has ordered your remand has no jurisdiction to hear the matter. That was done because the state considered that the opinion of some certain person was adverse to that of the state. During the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown in 2020, state authorities in Akwa Ibom State went the extra mile in repressing the press, the freedom of expression and the press. Many journalists and other individuals whose only offense was the expression of their constitutional guaranteed right were persecuted, arrested, detained, and remanded more often than not without trial and by court without jurisdiction. Since 29 May 2023, the press has enjoyed a healthy environment of freedom in Akwa Ibom State. This is a big kudos to the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno. From coming on board, there has not been that friction between the press and the government. The present administration, led by His Excellency Gov Umo Eno, to my knowledge, has not been intolerable of dissenting opinions and has not, through the instrument of state authority, repressed dissenting opinion or caused to remand of any journalist or individual merely for expressing the right to freedom of expression and of the press. But as we savour the air of free press in Akwa Ibom State, we should not lose sight of the fact that freedom of expression and the press does not guarantee derogatory and defamatory expression targeted at other persons or authorities. Like I said before, it's not to publish just to get at the speaker or authorities. That you have freedom to write, freedom to do your expressions is also subjected to the right of the other person that is at the receiving end. That is why in our Constitution, Section 45 gives, restriction to your own freedom. Freedom to make your speech with a restriction to that extent that it will not impede on the right of others. For rights are not infinitely elastic, but must be exercised reasonably with the right of others, of other persons, public order, public safety, public morality, public health, national defense, and national security closely in mind as contained in Section 45, Subsection 1 of our Constitution. So the President in Akwa Ibom, under His Excellency Pastor Umo Eno, had that air of relief, the freedom of expression. But then we shouldn't take it for granted, and we should note that whatever you publish, you have your fact and be ready to defend when called upon. To the convener of this event, I want to plead and urge that this event be held more regularly. The Crown will partner with you whenever you want us to partner with you to have a better and more active this occasion. Thank you so much.